is the most here for his little intermission. A nice kick shot there from Carlo. As Carl always said, really one of the best on the planet, going rail first with any shot.
Yeah, the break was in and out in that big comeback against Ko Ping Chung, and similar really against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, but it was better. He was breaking well at the start. It went walkabout a bit mid-contest, but towards the end, when Biado really took control of that contest, he was breaking pretty well again.
Well, just a beautiful hit there with the jump cue. A little upset probably the one didn't contact any kind of ball. He was trying to get some separation. Held the cue ball nicely, so Carlo's going to have a difficult play here on the one to kind of open his campaign.
40 years of age, Carlo Biado, and as we said yesterday, Jeremy, his world ranking is about as false as you could get. He's down at number 29. But there are reasons for it. He missed some big events over the last couple of years, and well, he's had a lot of good tournaments. They haven't always been in the right events. And he will make a big climb up the rankings after this run here.
Heavy there, and I was kind of curious how you would play it. I would have maybe ignored position as much with the two pretty open, hard to get snookered, and just wanted to put a little more pace on that opening shot, especially as difficult as it was. And I was just going to comment that also Carlo, he doesn't mind pace, you know, when it's necessary or when he feels needed. Nice shot here to open. Going to have to settle on something difficult on the blue too, but a very knowledgeable crowd here in Hanoi, recognizing how difficult that was.
So noticeable, wasn't it, during the first semi-final? Every single 9-ball was getting the sort of cheer that probably bigger than these guys get at the end of a match most of the year.
The 1-ball, 2-ball's got to go a little bit. This quite often happens when you're trying to get a safety out in the middle of the table, especially early. So, unforced error. Maybe a big one to start here. Not a whole lot of angle on that brown 7, so that's a nice feeling there.
Against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz last night, it was more about the big finish because he pulled away from 5-all with 5 in a row, and he leads 1-0 here.
Yeah, it seems to me it's more of a stun break than the draw stroke overall, or maybe a stun draw combination of both. I believe that's where you tend to miss the one a bit more often. Unless you really unload on the rack, kind of like a Kachi or SVB. Okay, I don't know if he can go forward here with awkward cueing. He may have to kind of stun one rail at the 3. Close enough to it, and there is plenty of angle, so not a whole lot of speed needed. Yeah, he's going to like that. He's going to like that a lot.
Beat Jason Shaw at the European Open, but then went out soon after that to Lucius Yap. At the Spanish Open, he beat Joshua Filler 9-1 in winners qualification. He lost in the next round to Emil-Andre Gangflot, the young Norwegian player. And I think those two little stories kind of sum up what last year was like for him.
All right, threading the needle by the green 6 there off of not much angle. Sure, his heart was beating. Probably didn't know if that cue ball was going to get by the 9 or not. Now he's just perfect to tie this match. It was a dry break, of course, to get him going. And I think, you know, I hate to say it may be an issue, but certainly some dry breaks can make a huge difference in all these matches towards the end.
About as easy a 9 as you could hope to have. to get your first rack on the board. Which is what Chua has done, so it's 1-all.
One of the first, you would say, in the long line of great Filipino players that was more textbook with the cueing action. This has got to slow down big time, though. Was he trying to bump the 8? Don't figure he's going to miss his mark by that much.
He's been out of ideal position for a lot of this visit. They finally have caught up with him here.
It's going to slide a bit. This may give a little more at the 8 than we think. Didn't really go into the ball with spin, trying to create, you know, a heavier angle as the 8 went to the side cushion and down to the short rail. And he went so, excuse me, Michael, he went so narrowly by the 8 when shooting the 7. I gotta believe he was trying to bump it.
Is this going to finish? It looks pretty good. So Johann Chua got most of the job done. Ran out of position on the 8. An excellent shot from Biado to pot it. Get on the 9. So he leads for the second time. Two out of 2, making the 1 in the side. But he's scratched as well.
Yeah. Cue ball got a kiss. It looked like a kiss anyways. He did pocket 2 balls. Nice to see. Yeah, a couple kisses, really just little subtle ones on the 9. But nice if you're Carlo to see the 1 go down. But easy to forget about that when the cue ball gets lost as well.
Sorry, apologies. It was Chua who made the 1 in the previous rack.
Yeah, and he's just got to be a little more mindful of these first shots, right? I mean, the way you get out of line normally for the great players is it kind of builds from shot to shot. Usually don't miss-hit a ball so badly to where, you know, you get out of line with position. If you do that, you normally are missing the ball you're attacking. So these here are pretty kind of fail-proof, really.
Already feels like it's going to be a totally different semi-final to the first contest we saw today. Chua here already just 4 balls away from drawing level for already the second time. Ooh. So Biado is in with an opportunity to lead for the 3rd time already.
Yeah, doesn't really want to play the purple in that right middle if he can help it. Rather move the cue ball up above. Any of those lower corners where the pink set. Oh my. Oh my. So a big roll, but also some big concern with a miss like that.
Yeah, he wasn't immune to those yesterday at all across his 2 matches. He missed a couple of surprising balls. There was a 6 that he missed early on, perhaps a bit more difficult than that against Ko Ping Chung, and that was in the first rack. By the time he got out of his chair again, he was 4-0 down.
Yeah, it almost goes to what I was talking about for his year. Just, you know, some alarming things, not on always misses. Of course, those misses come with some of those losses in close matches. Great hit here. Great hit here. But you just kind of wonder, you know, at times what Carlo Biado were getting, really.
This would have brought the house down. You could hear that the crowd were living every millisecond of that.
Yeah, just like all the tables we use on the World Handball Tour for these major events, these big open major events, all have deep shelves. May go for this cross corner and try and hold a safety as well. This may float up in the corner. And these are huge racks, of course, not only to stay in the match if you're behind or extend the lead, but it almost always seems to be the person who settles in first starts to get more opportunities and can easily start to grab a 5 or 6 game lead. And a rare missed kick by Johann Chua.
Make that surge for the line.
Just about to say, I didn't understand why he was putting a high ball there. Easy to overcut that ball, and when you're close to it, you can really slow the cue ball down on the slick table.
Yeah, that's the smile of a player who knows he's got away with it again a bit there. Because look where it's finished.
Yeah, he's going to get a little fortunate, but maybe the short cue will help Johann. This one's very makeable. So again, like I said moments ago, you just watched Carlo and what he's done in this match so far. You would have to bet he would be behind, really. But not the case. And what would he be, one of only 3 Filipinos to do it? Is that right? Efren Reyes and Alex Pagulayan with him as well. How they rolling, Carlo?
Spoke at the start of the rack about how fortune has gone his way. It's a bit of a grey area with Pagulayan as to which country he was representing when he won the World Championship. I think it was Canada at that time, but of course he is originally from the Philippines.
Yeah, so technically it may just be Carlo and Efren. That U.S. Open somehow avoiding Bustamante through the years. All right, he's got a little bit of it. I wouldn't say it was a bad safety from Carlo at all. Just it was always going to be touchy, just like this shot here. If he contacts the 8, he may leave another shot. Awkward cueing near the 8 and over it a bit, and then some distance between the cue ball and the blue 2. He's kicking at this? It's surprising. Is this all about cueing? He could overcut the 2 and run the cue ball back behind the 9. Didn't understand that one unless there's something I didn't see. Didn't he have a direct path at the 2 there, Michael?
Yeah, I know what you mean. A strange sort of start to the match all round for Biado in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, and I think a very so-so decision, or one that seemed a little odd, and now a little bit of luck, even though he gave up a shot. Very, very hard to get at this cue ball with the green 6 there, so easy to hit this a hair chunky. Hit it sweet. Hit it sweet.
You've got to be young and fit even to get yourself into that position, let alone play the shot well from it.
I think he needs to come, I like this decision here, come backwards, kind of take the green 6 out of the equation here. Leave nothing to chance. I don't know, it's just a weird feeling I get, but you know, with the pace he was kind of going around the table at first, that being Chua, I think some of the bad rolls he's gotten so far have kind of calmed him down.
And I guess that knowledge between them has an impact maybe on push-out decisions as well.
No, absolutely. It's almost like back in the day when we used to go on the road, you know, all over the country playing, you know, just whoever wanted to play. And you always had your partner you traveled with, which was usually another player. You know, you would recognize when they were playing, you know, oh, he's starting to not feel good, or, you know, the stroke's starting to go a little bit, or the decisions are starting to get a little sideways, and that can certainly play with the push out or any kind of safety, or anything you're going to exchange innings at the table.
Well, that's gone badly wrong for Chua.
Well, he's uber aggressive, and that one there was really pushing it on the 3-4 combination. And the way I was feeling about Carlo at the moment, if I'm Chua, try not to give him just anything easy to start if you can help it. This is gone. This is gone. Well, it's corner hooked, maybe. Maybe not. We'll know shortly. I want to see his face if he is corner hooked. I think he got away from it, but he missed his mark by what, a couple feet there?
Oh. Well, the different angles give different perspectives on it.
He's definitely snookered if he's elevating the cue.
Yeah.
He may fluke it. And again, these are the type of things you have to recognize if you're Carlo's opponent. Is given, you know, a situation where you know you're going to let Carlo out of the chair, you maybe have a bit more leeway on what you're going to do with that shot.
Well, if Chua doesn't win this rack, you'll be wondering what on earth he's done to anger the pool gods. Looked for all the world as though he was going to get ball in hand and probably lead 5-4. He may yet. He really should now.
Yeah, beautiful stroke feathering the 7 in the side, and really at a light speed. Most would have tracked the cue ball around for the 8 in the middle.
So finally, in rack 9, Chua takes the lead for the first time in this semi-final. He's won.
All right, he's got to pull this. Don't let it kind of let up a little bit and you lose the cue ball into the pink or something like that. Okay, he did. I don't know if it's going to cost him much, but you almost have to smooth that around a little bit more so the cue ball grabs a little tighter off those 2 cushions. And now he's really got to direct through some traffic. Now Chua, very kind of genius with the slick table at times. If he wasn't cueing awkwardly, I think he goes 3 rails between the 6-8 back down table for the pink. But he's over the ball, which makes that very difficult. He's going to catch something, it looks like. Oh, no, he got by it.
Look at this, look at this. This is what they've come here to see in Hanoi. Johann Chua is really stepping it up. Textbook stuff in this rack. It's another break and run. This match was slow to really get going for Chua. All of a sudden, he's only 4 racks away from his second big final of the year. It's 7-4.
Kind of easy, but now Looks like he's going for a thin one. He wants to hit right before that side on the top of your screen. From between the green. He overcut it. All right. Now he got a little bit of a roll with the 8 bumping the 5-6 in a bad position, but again, the 4 is there. And that was super thin. Of course, he overcut it. Didn't expect that. I still got to look at the bang combination. I thought it was really a cold-blooded hanger for Johann.
And now they're sitting nicely.
Yeah, he's going to need his extension. Talking about the part for his cue stick. May use the extension otherwise also. You know, just like I kind of felt like some unfortunate things kind of settled Chua a bit, even though he was in the chair for some of it. Maybe Chua waking up and running some racks, you know, may kind of cure some problems for Carlo. Also relieve the pressure now that he's behind a bit.
He needed this, didn't he? He lost 5 racks in a row. He didn't get to the table in either of the last 2, but he's taken his chance very well there. Biado back to 2 behind now. Chua's lead is 7-5 in this Hanoi Open semi-final.
I don't know what it is, Michael. I was just going to say I got a funny feeling about this little 2-ball on the side.
Well, you don't need me to tell you how frustrated Carlo Biado is feeling at the moment. It is written all over his face and is etched upon his body language.
Yeah, it's just some of those misses that just we've seen from Carlo throughout the year at times, and leaves him scratching our head, or his head, along with us, doing the same. Subtle one here, got to go around the purple 5. So it's going to be the short cue. Or you would think anyways, the kick's pretty easy, but most of the time when it's pocketable, these players will go to the air.
Yeah, I don't think you could describe that as a bad shot. It was just a really tricky one.
Yeah, that shot there, it's all about how your object ball hits the pocket and how what path the cue ball is going to take. But again, if he can feel like he can get something difficult, even if it's some distance, you know, and even if it's a pocketable ball for Carlo, the moment it doesn't feel like he has to make it. Trying to get a little draw here.
It just feels like he fancies the job on everything that's presented to him at the moment.
Yeah, well, the speed that ball went in, just go ahead and take the 5 and 6 away and level out and shoot it with your playing cue into those tough sides with that kind of speed, and notice how accurate you have to be. I think he has a corner by the brown 7. Now, what do? I mean, you really just have a lock-up safety if you wanted to bang the purple away and put him behind the 6. I don't think that's Chua's style, really.
Crowd living every moment of it with him.
Kind of knew it may have been a miss right from the start. Little body language there involved.
How are the cards going to fall here?
I think he's got a little piece, and If not, I think something that's manageable with a subtle swerve. Now he's looking to cut this in. Tell you, Chua might have the heaviest right foot I've ever seen, and what I mean by that, of course, a little different where your neck of the woods, but that's staying on the gas, basically. When you drive a car in America, is the heavy right foot, and that's what he does.
He seems to have so much belief. As I was saying a few minutes ago, it's like whatever shot he's presented with at the moment, he likes his chances of it working out. He's making some really good shots, but he's missing a few as well. He doesn't feel unshakable from where we're standing.
Yeah, you know, with a 30-second shot clock, sometimes pool is so brutal because, like the last shot, he had to hit with a lot of speed from distance. Now he has to hit one really lightly, so you're changing the stroke quite a bit. Oh, Carlo's lost the plot, as Carl Boy says.
Well, in total contrast to Chua just fancying everything that's put in front of him, Biado looks bereft of belief right now.
All right, the speed looks perfect, really. He can play short side on the 8 if needed. That won't be necessary gaining this angle. Looks a little light. Probably was thinking, Michael, there's no way to be short in this position from where I was at. And I'm not sure he is. Oh, yes, he is. So he's going cross corner or a safety. I think he's shooting.
And by the time he gets out of that chair, his Hanoi Open hopes will be hanging by a thread, if not extinguished entirely.
Well, you know, us here in the booth, we're fans of all these players, of course. We get to watch them and see all the trials and tribulations, but it's almost kind of like the last match where Rota had a lot of chances the second half, and just no matter what it was, some kind of funny thing or another would keep him from getting out.
Biado struggling for confidence, struggling to make anything happen. Chua has missed a few himself. He's opened the door a little for Biado in recent racks. The former world and US Open champion simply proved unable to capitalise. And it all adds up to Johann Chua being on the hill. He leads by 10 racks to 5. Biado needs to win half a dozen in a row. Johann Chua hasn't been at his absolute best. He hasn't needed to be, because Carlo Biado has really failed to show up so far for this semi-final. He has to now, though, because Chua is on the hill. He only needs one more rack to go through to his second major final of the year.
Yeah, just like we've seen from Chua the entire match, the one on the side has been kind of just automatic, and his best layout so far, Michael, this should do it. I mean, really, the way he's played, you know, the shots he has missed have been extremely difficult ones. There's been no easy misses. So as long as he draws position on this first shot, because there's not a ton of angle on this blue two.
Yeah, you say the entire match, and that is literally the case. So 10 breaks, That was his last of the match, and he has made the one every single time. And yeah, you're right, it's not that he's been missing easy shots at all, even when he has let Biado back in. Just on another day, there were some of those shots he might have made, but overall he'll be very pleased with how this has gone, particularly if he finishes it off here with his third break and run of this semi-final.
Yeah, he wasn't so happy how he hit the pocket there. Caught it a little thick. Could have, or wanted another maybe foot and a half, 2 more feet of cue ball travel, but it's all about the center of the table in this rack. 2 rails out here for the purple. Just got to slow down a little bit. Nice and tidy, even though he's got a bit of an angle. The one thing about Chua is little Frank Sinatra, you know, he kind of does it his way, right? I mean, he really does. I mean, like, we've seen aggressive players. That's what makes them all so great. I think he's the most aggressive out of all of them that I've seen.
There's no point having a conversation about Player of the Year in the world of 9-ball. Federer Gorst has got that long since locked up. All the big titles he's won, but best of the rest, it might just be Chua. He's found consistency, which is hard to achieve in the ultra-competitive WNT environment these days.
Yeah, hit his mark beautifully with the cue ball. You know, we always start with 256 in these major ones. And we're not always sure if the right 2 get to the finals, you know, excluding a player or 2, but I think we're going to have that here.
Johann Chua was 4-2 down.